Hello, Aquarius. I'm just looking at this little kind of face on my on my table. It's kind of got two eyes, a podgy nose, and a mouth. I feel like we should name him. What should him or her? What should he, she, they? What should they be called? Let me know. So we have our table guide here now, and I've just woken up. I'm still waking up with my coffee, and um, you can probably tell I'm not quite there yet. We're getting there though. Aquarius, your energy feels pretty good. It feels uplifting, is how I would write it, or how I have wrote it in my notes. It feels optimistic and elevated. It's like I'm hearing wanting to do better. So yeah, wanting to do better. So I'm also seeing this kind of like when I shut my eyes when I was meditating before you read it, I was seeing this kind of like golden webbing. Like it could be like a netting, but it's like a golden, yeah, golden web. So I don't know if this is some kind of fabric or something you've put over your head. It could be some sort of VR or a veil or something, maybe something that you did for Halloween. But it's also kind of giving me, especially with the song that came through for you, which was Runaway by Khalid and Taylor Parks, it's kind of giving me the old myth of Venus Aphrodite, who was married to Hephaestus, but she was having an affair with, sorry Aquarius, she was having an affair with Ares, who is the god of war. Now Venus and Ares were kind of, they were in love, they were a true pair, they were a, they chose each other, right? They had a lot of passion for each other. They chose each other. Aphrodite was basically forced into marriage with Hephaestus, who she didn't love. So basically one night the gods tried to, Hephaestus found out and he thought, I'm going to trap them. He was a blacksmith and he created this gold net to catch them in the act, and he did. He successfully caught Venus and Aphrodite and Ares, I'm trying to stick to the Greek, in a golden net, and he called all the other gods to come and look and laugh at them. But if you look at Ovid's version of this, the joke was kind of on Hephaestus, because the other gods were commenting, oh, I wish I could be trapped like that, you know, because, you know, Aphrodite is very, very desirable. She's the god of beauty and love and romance, and God is the god of war. Ares is kind of like a very masculine, kind of, he was kind of the embodiment of the Greek warrior, you know, the fighter, the athlete. So yeah, a very good looking couple. So yeah, the joke was kind of on Hephaestus, because you know, all the other gods kind of wanted to, you know, were a bit jealous. So yeah, there's a line in, I'm not saying everybody should go and have an affair or anything like this, I'm just telling you what I'm channeling. What it means to you, how it applies to you, I don't know. But there's a line in that Runaway song that says, I don't care what the people say, they were going to talk anyway. So it's kind of like a bit of a Romeo and Juliet type story of running away perhaps with the person that you truly love, that you truly want to be with, but maybe other people are going to talk about it. There's going to be some drama around it, right? Now, again, I'm not recommending anything. I don't know if this is your actual story, or a lot of the time I seem to channel what people are watching. I saw the other day, I saw somebody, I get visions, so I saw somebody stood in the foreground, and a man stood in the foreground, kind of looked a bit dusty, you know, like he'd, like a kind of sci-fi movie kind of thing. He had a backpack on, kind of dusty clothes, he looked like he was in a desert, and there was this thing raising up out of the sand in front of him, and all this sand was pouring down, and I was like, that's really cool, I wonder what that is. I think I was just channeling June, I think, because I'd only ever seen the cover of, you know, the cover poster for that movie. It wasn't really in my awareness, and then I channeled this literal scene that I think is from the movie June. So I don't know why that happens so much to me, but it does. So maybe somebody's just watching Romeo and Juliet, I don't know. Something else that I've been channeling for you for Aquarius energy in general, so this may or may not be your specific story, but I've been watching this TV show called Made, and it's kind of representing the stuff that I've been channeling for you, because I think society is kind of a little bit broken, especially if you live in a very consumerist society at the moment. There's things going on in the news, and again, this is very Aquarian energy with things like Saturn and Jupiter and soon Pluto, all these big slow moving planets moving in your chart. This is something that's going to affect everybody. So Aquarian energy is innovative. They look at things a different way, and they look at how things can benefit everybody rather than just the few. So where Saturn and Jupiter have been in Capricorn, which is a very, Saturn and Capricorn, Saturn is Capricorn's ruling planet, that is a very kind of do things by the book, respect authority, do things the tried and tested methods, where Aquarian is more innovative and more, how do we do this better? So with that in mind, I'm seeing things in the news about people quitting the jobs, especially in America. There's a huge it's been in all the news where people are just saying, I'm not prepared to sacrifice my health, my well-being, my physical health, my mental health, my well-being for peanuts anymore. I'm not prepared to work my fingers to the bone into old age just so I can have pennies when I retire. It's not good enough for me. I want to live my life in a way that makes me feel good. I want to live my life. I don't want to live to work. So there's this whole revolutionary attitude going on at the moment because, again, it's planetary. This was predicted. You can go back. I've probably talked about it in readings like way back when I first started doing readings. I will have been talking about this coming. So people questioning the workforce, how the workforce is set up, how people earn money. Why are we working so hard just to get digits on a computer? Like how it's not tangible, it's not real. So there's this real revolutionary spirit in the air. They're giving me, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. From 77 to 69, revolution was in the air. I was born too late into a world that doesn't care. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. Sorry, I went with it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing. So if you watch that program Made, this poor woman, and again you've got this song Runaway, this poor woman, without giving you too many spoilers but just kind of an overview, like the headlines, right, cliff notes. This poor woman, she's in a toxic relationship and she's scared for her well-being and her daughter's well-being, so she runs away in the middle of the night, but then she's reliant on government assistance and services, and she doesn't know if she's, she spends the night on the floor of a ferry with her daughter because she's got nowhere to go. And it's really very, very heartbreaking, this story. Watching her struggle, and every time something goes right for her, something goes horribly wrong and knocks her back down again. So she has to keep picking herself up and keep going and keep trying, when all she wants to do is all she wants is a roof over her daughter's head. She wants work, she wants money so that she can buy her daughter grapes, so she, and you see these small things. You see this moment where she's able to buy her daughter a pack of grapes, and they sit there in the woods eating them together, and it really makes you value things. And it's contrasted to, she's a maid, so she has these clients that she goes and works for, and they're beautiful houses, and they're throwing away throwing away food and things like this, and she's so desperate. So seeing that life can be so hard for people, and how when the weights are stacked up against people, how that keeps people trapped in relationships that perhaps they shouldn't be in, relationships that aren't appropriate to raise a child within because the parents are fighting or not getting along, or there's a lot of questioning of this coming through, I think, with your reading. But there's also another factor that I was picking up on of not being able to ask for help, feeling, I think, because of the society we live in, especially if you've never been given anything for free, if you're the sort of person who's had to fight for every single thing that you've got, if every single grape, you've had to fight for that grape. If you're in that situation, it can be so hard to allow people to help you because you think, well, what do they expect in return? So again, without giving you too many spoilers, there is this very nice character who's genuinely trying to help her, and he's, you know, very kind of like, you know, it's fine kind of thing. And she's so determined, because she's been codependent, she's so determined to be independent, that she just finds it so hard to accept the generosity of others. It's like when nobody's ever been nice to you, it's almost like you feel like you don't deserve that kindness. Like, and there's this wonderful scene where she's talking to someone and she's on the floor. She's on, you know, he's sat on a sofa and she's sat on the floor, and she's having this conversation with him about we're not equals, and literally like it's depicted in the art. So it's beautiful, beautiful TV show. Definitely recommend you go and watch it. I haven't spoiled too much of it, I think. But these themes of the imbalances of society, why some people have so much money that they can just throw away food, and how other people cannot buy food for their children. It's unequal, it's not fair. So this thing about runaway, perhaps somebody's trying to escape to a better life, be very careful with that, because, you know, all that glitters is not gold. I don't know, Aquarius, it might just be stuff that you're thinking about, right? You might just be really disappointed with society and thinking, how do we make things better for people? How do we make it so that women don't have to fear being homeless, you know, with their children? Anyone, not just women, you know, men can be victims of domestic abuse as well. So I don't want to kind of like keep it kind of attributed to a specific gender. And also generational as well. It's a wonderful program. It does talk about, sorry, my nails are a bit dirty, I've just noticed, so I'm sorry if you noticed that as well. Generational patterns, you know, repeating the patterns of your ancestors, the mistakes of your parents. People often, I've got this mummy and daddy issues video up where I talk about how people tend to repeat their experiences from the past. So if somebody's father was an alcoholic, they may marry somebody who's an alcoholic, you know, they may because that's what's familiar to them. That's how they know how that works. They know how to navigate that situation. So how do you break ancestral patterns of behavior? Some people do and some people don't. And I think that's played out. I think that's shown really beautifully in that TV show, how she's very, very different, but also very, very similar to her own mother. Okay. Aquarius. So we're reading, actually, before I pull you a card, we're reading for Friday the 5th of November. There's going to be on that day a sextile between the moon in Scorpio and Pluto in Capricorn. And that means that there could be some very cloak and dagger type stuff going on around you, or you could be feeling like this depending on your placements in your chart. If you've got any of those placements, so moon, Scorpio, Pluto, Capricorn, if any of that is strong in your chart, you're going to be more affected by this. But a sextile is a cooperative, kind of flirty energy between the two planets. So the moon in Scorpio is very, very intuitive, secretive, kind of psychic as well, very kind of like intense emotions as well. Pluto as well is very, very intense. Pluto rules Scorpio, so the interplay between the ruling planet Pluto and the star sign Scorpio and the moon being in there, it's like a high priestess energy tripled. So people could be very, very psychic at this time. And also in regards to family, because Capricorn's it's security. Capricorn's a sign of security and familiarity and the rule book kind of thing. So anything to do with like finances, your house, your family, your work, where you put down roots. There could be secrets around there at this time. I'm going to say it's positive because it's a sextile, it's cooperative. So it could be in your interest to keep things quite secretive, or you may just be intuitively knowing things around these places without really knowing why. You may not have the evidence, but you know something, right? You feel it. So trust your intuition about anything regarding home, work, money, anything that's kind of like structures. Your intuition is probably going to be strong today. Aquarius then, please. Aquarius for Friday. I'm seeing it almost looks like I've got some I can probably show you. They're like, sorry, making a mess back here. They're like little little kind of skin coloured balls basically. So I've got a few here to show you, if I can get any out. So these are like a bronzer balls. So I'm just seeing something like this. I don't know what that is for you, but I shut my eyes and I could see it very, very clearly. So I don't know, it doesn't have to be bronzer, but these small little kind of skin coloured balls. I don't know what that is. Right, if I can get on with Aquarius's reading, please. Giving me Rick Astley. I don't know if somebody's rickrolled you recently. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. It feels like there's a pun in there. Never gonna roll around, they're telling me, with these little balls rolling around. Still giving me Rick Astley. Never gonna make you cry, never gonna tell a lie. The King is in the underlying. The King came through for somebody. I want to say it was Gemini. They had a really interesting reading actually. The King. They're giving me the King and I, or Anna and the King. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. The Bardo. So here's that Plutonic energy coming through. No, they're telling me pull all the cards first, so not clarifiers, but we'll keep going. Getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy. Yeah, that Gemini reading also had this card as well, the Seven of Voices. It's come through for quite a few readings. Basically, it's talking about having integrity. There's the Moon as well, look. Having integrity as you move into a new cycle. It's like you're crossing a threshold into the unknown, and you're not to be deceived by the people around you, the voices around you, but to go kind of straight down the middle and have integrity, and that's how you cross this bridge. They're telling me again, we'll cross this bridge when we come to it. There's something here with this card as well. You see, can you see how everything's drawn to the center of this image, to this portal through her, this opening into a different dimension almost, and everything's coming to a point here as well. This Lovers card here is everything coming together. These two cards both speak of Gemini energy to me. Again, I said that Gemini kind of came through strongly here with these two cards. And this Eight of Voices, again, another air energy. Gemini's an air sign. You can see these. There's the grid. Do you remember I said I saw a golden netting? And then this is almost, it's not golden, but this kind of crisscross weaved fabric or netting pattern is kind of what I was seeing for you. And it's almost like it literally has this person trapped. The Eight of Voices, the Eight of Swords, is a card about being trapped. So it's like being trapped in a golden web, being trapped in a golden net. What is that? Being trapped in a golden... Could be the internet. Be careful what you're doing online at the moment. I'm hearing creating a web around you. And then you've got this Moon card here, which is the unknown, secrecy, intuition. The Lovers card is about choosing what you love. So you may, with that Runaway song, and I was talking about Romeo and Juliet and things like this, Anna and the King, there could be something about choosing your heart and really knowing what's in your heart and choosing authentically. Again, that Gemini energy is coming through really, really strongly, so I do recommend you go and watch that Gemini reading too. It's like, they're trying to give me something. It's like you can only, only the pure of heart can pass, that kind of thing. Is it from Neverending Story or something? I just looked at this Lotus Flower. Very quickly, they gave me Lotus Flower, the song by Radiohead, I think. And then very quickly after that, almost like immediately, they gave me Secret Garden by Madonna. A flower that isn't torn, a heart that will not harden, a place where I can be born in my secret garden. So Oh, I've got a Queen of Inspiration. I do feel like the tail end signs have been getting some very out there things recently. Heartbreak there. Being torn. Yes, it's like being torn in. Yeah, look at this. This is like head and heart stuff. Because the Eight of Voices, the Eight of Swords, talks about feeling very physically trapped, but it's your own thoughts that are keeping you trapped. And then this Nine of Swords is a card about mental anguish, stress, anxiety, overthinking, getting trapped in your own head. So two cards here that are telling me you're getting kind of trapped in your own thoughts, trapped in your own head, like your logical mind kind of preventing you from moving, while your heart is almost screaming to go in a more honest direction. Here she's literally screaming here, and her heart's being pulled in different directions. They're telling me the threads again. So Libra had this thing about threads, like finding the right thread. So your heart is screaming at you, your intuition, your heart is, which I want to say is a more genuine spiritual part of yourself, knows what to do, it knows where to go, it knows how to get across this bridge. But your logical mind is looking at all the foxes, right? It's looking at all the bad things. It's looking at all this stuff and saying, I can't do it. I can't face this. It's not right. There's too many threats. Where your heart's saying, this is authentic. This is what you want. This is true to you. They're giving me Lord of the Rings, thou shalt pass, right? But it's thou shalt not pass, but it's thou shalt pass, they're telling me. Thou shalt pass. But you have to be... You have to be pure of heart. You have to be truthful to yourself first, right? You have to know yourself. You have to be doing what your heart's telling you, what your intuition's telling you. That's the only right way. The Elk in reverse. And the Starfish in the underlying, and the Hyena in reverse. So Hyena is very much this energy, right? This dark and light, yin-yang energy. And then this Elk in reverse, it almost gives me Emperor in reverse. So like maybe like a some kind of authority figure who you feel has authority over you. It's like, I can't do this thing. My heart wants me to do this, but I have to follow the rules. But again, it's like you can see his crown chakra, because these antlers kind of talk to me about the crown chakra, kind of almost like picking up information from this eclipse. It's like a psychic moment, a psychic awareness. This is how I visualize my energy when I do kind of yoga and meditation. Kind of the energy of the chakras. This kind of beam of light comes up through my body, out through my crown chakra, and it's almost like a tree. It branches out into the sky and then branches down like roots of a tree into the earth, and you can stretch out your intuition like this. So it's like an aerial signal, right, or Wi-Fi or something. It's like the moon having this, like, being connected to this ability to have this psychic awareness, and then the antennas going up and receiving the messages. But your antennas are down, I want to say, or you're ignoring. Perhaps it's too much information, perhaps it's too overwhelming, so you withdraw. The Magician here as well, that keeps coming up in so many readings. I think it may have popped up for you in your last reading as well. This trickster energy, this Eris energy that came through. So trickster energy, Eris energy. Maybe go and watch the Eris reading, especially if you have to choose something. That Eris reading had a lot of information. So I can't remember it all now because I need to rewatch it, but so like to navigate this, you have to have incorporated your own dark side. You have to I feel like this is talking about two sides of yourself, right? With the Hyena being here, with this kind of Gemini energy of the this and that are true. with this kind of Lovers card of the feminine and the masculine coming together. I feel like this is talking about that kind of yin yang energy of the two sides of the self. So it's, have you done your shadow work? Have you incorporated your shadow self? Understanding that we are not angels or devils on this earth, but we are both. And it's okay to be in the in-between. It's okay to have both light and dark aspects. Are those two parts of yourself fighting within you? Are they in opposition, or are they working collaboratively? So as an example of that, I would say that if you look at the Victorians, for example, and the hyper chastity of society, of you know, people needing to have this reputation of being above board and pure and honourable, but to such an extent that they were actually repressing certain parts of themselves, for example, like their sexual side, or their kind of baser instincts. And what happened was there was an eruption of this in society, where it came through in very negative ways through prostitution. So many Victorians had syphilis. So because there was this enforcement of ideals upon people who are not angels, and expectations of people to behave in a way that is not human, those needs had to have side shoots that were actually came out in more destructive, secretive ways. So a brilliant example of the opposite of that, right? Somebody who has incorporated both like parts of the nature would be this Queen of Wands character here. Right underneath that is this Emperor card. Beautiful. So I'm just seeing this Three of Materials as well, this weaving together, and then this awakening. Right, okay. And the Fool card there as well. Right, okay. Sorry, they're giving me a lot of information in your reading. This Queen of Wands character then, this is an example of somebody who owns their sexuality in a very healthy way. The Queen of Wands is, I just saw a rainbow where there was no rainbow, so I don't know if that means anything to anyone. She knows who she is. You know, she's done a lot of shadow work. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants. She knows what she's comfortable with and what she doesn't want. And she has really strong boundaries. She's not going to entertain people or things that don't suit her. She's got the confidence to say no to things that don't serve her and yes to things that do. And she doesn't care what people think about her. We don't care what people say. They were going to talk anyway. So this is somebody who's very in tune with their sexuality. You might say this would be, again, an example from kind of Victorian times, would be perhaps a stage performer, an opera singer, somebody, you know, somebody singing, a opera singer performing Carmen, you know, beautiful, gorgeous, commanding the stage, sensual, you know, fully in control of who she is, and prepared to stand on that stage and show herself to the world. It's strong, right? She's not allowing herself to be repressed. So the positive way of incorporating the shadow self into your daily life, and a negative way. So suppression is it's like a volcano, right? You can if you imagine a volcano and you put your hand on it, okay, so the lava might not come out there, but maybe it's going to come out under the ocean as like bubbles, right? It's going to bubble up. So it could be something to do with the balls. I was kind of getting this earlier with like acne or something. Somebody could have acne when they suppress a part of themselves too much. I'm not saying 100% yes, that's what it is. I get acne too, and I don't think I suppress parts of myself. I was also getting a pinching kind of in the underarm area. So I don't know if that's something, maybe somebody pinches themselves to control themselves. Yeah. All right, interesting reading so far, Aquarius. Let's see what that Bardo's doing there. They're giving me Secret Life as well. I can't think who that's by. Jack Severetti, they gave me the name. Do you have a secret life, Aquarius? What do you do behind closed doors? The liminal, the in-between, the transition. It is said that the Bardo is a place between this life and the next, a liminal realm through which souls pass. Envisioning this inherently mysterious space creates the potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world excuse me, and see our relationships through a cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those who are no longer with us, or see visions of lives not yet lived. In the bardo, there is potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, to love the unloved, to let go of all the things that cause us pain. The bardo suspends us in its spaciousness for long enough to open us to a higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to Earth as we know it, but rather to the cosmic network of which we are a single thread. The cosmic network of which we are a single thread, right? Again, going back to Libra's reading of finding this thread. You see here, she's found the threads and she's playing them like a harp from hell. Sorry, that came through for Libra as well. She's playing these strings. There's nothing hell-like about it, by the way. I think they're joking with me with that. And this card as well, she talks about playing the Borealis strings. So playing with the strings of existence, playing with the matrix, playing with the energies in order to create something that's a beautiful harmony and actually benefits everybody else below her. Both of these cards have a similar kind of message to them. So being a bold leader, maybe there's somebody like this for you, like this Queen of Wands character that you're learning a lot from, about how you incorporate that shadow self and you know, bring it to the forefront, you know, make it work for you. Don't get, this is the thing, again, I talk about this a lot with the Devil card, which isn't here, but I'm getting that energy. Pluto energy, Saturn energy. That devil can play our strings when we're not in control of our own shadow self. When we suppress things, and it comes out in negative ways, that's the devil at work. And the devil can play through suppression, you know, when we feel suppressed, or when we feel like we can't truly be our authentic selves. That's our own fears, like saying you can't be like that, or it's society saying you can't show that side of yourself to the world. Why not? Why not incorporate into poetry? Some of the best poetry, some of the best plays, some of the best movies are people who have tapped into their own shadow self and brought that up. You know, horror movies, where does that come from? And yet it entertains, yet it's a catharsis. You know, I'm not a huge fan of horror movies. I prefer like suspense and thrillers, but you know, there's people watch these for a reason, because it gives that part of themselves an output, right? So there's something like that here, where I feel like you're not connecting to the web, you're not allowing yourself to connect into this matrix energy, because you're actually seeing it as something that's suppressing you, it's something that's keeping you trapped. So how do you find it? How do you make it golden? The original thread that I saw in this kind of bardo space of kind of being in this half dream state, I was actually not dreaming, I was awake, I was walking, and the sun was, it was kind of that early morning kind of wintry sun that's very, very bright, and I could just see in my mind's eye, like with my third eye, this like silvery golden thread. I think I described it as being like when you see a spider web with morning dew on it and it's lit by the sunlight. How do you find it? How do you light it up? How do you play with it, right? How do you strum it? So stop seeing this as, perhaps you are very psychic, stop seeing it as something that traps you and start playing with it, start exploring it, right? Now this could, on a more mundane level, if you're thinking, what is she talking about? This could be coming through for you in dreams. What do you dream about? Even nightmares. What are you dreaming about? What are you having nightmares about? When you zone out and you let your mind wander, where does it go? This is your subconscious talking. This is your subconscious trying to get you to look at things, to deal with things, to face your fears head on, right? Everything is just teaching you. When you start to see devil energy, Saturn energy, Pluto energy, Lilith energy as here to help you, as here to help you face those dark parts of yourself that are hard to look at, then they're just guides, right? And you can make them work for you. You can pull the devil's strings. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful stuff here. Go with it, I want to say. Especially right now, Aquarius, especially, you know, when that moon energy is strong, they're giving me, beware the judger man, my dear, when the moon is fat. It's like off an advert. It's guiding you into some sort of experience that is going to um, I was going to say break you out of those chains, but light up those chains. It's almost like it could be talking about, again, I'm trying to ground this into something that could be more real and, you know, what you're actually experiencing in the 3D. It could be, for example, phone lines or internet connections, like people that you're connected to on the internet, your community around you. I don't care what people say, they were going to talk anyway. So it's almost like use those connections. Again, they're throwing me back into that TV show Made. It's like you know, it's a flip side of you've got all these people in your life and you're scared of what they're going to say. Say you leave a toxic relationship, you're scared of what people are going to say, you're scared that people are going to judge you, you're scared of, you know, people seeing what your life is actually like, you know, behind closed doors, you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, and yet you're trapped there. So use that network, reach out to people, say, hey, could you lend me a hand here? Could I crash at yours for a few days? Do you have you know, can you lend me some money? This is happening, help me. So it's turning that network of people around you from something that is trapping you into something that's liberating you. Aquarius, hug time, hug time. This is if this is resonating for you, I feel like I want to say this is what Saturn is doing in your chart, right? Saturn in Aquarius is liberating. It's questioning authority, questioning the rules, and changing them in a way, innovating them in a way that makes them work for the greater good rather than for the few at the top. So work with it, I want to say. So this Elk energy, it says when out of balance, pretentious, high and mighty. I don't know if this is you or somebody around you. You can be a little bit pretentious, Aquarius. You know, Aquarius energy, maybe not you specifically, but Aquarius energy can be a little bit, oh, I'm too good. You know, I'm the Victorian society person I don't feel those base instincts. Yes, you do. Everybody does. It's normal and it's okay, right? It's okay to have weird fantasies. It's okay to let your mind go to dark places, you know, as long as you're not acting out things that are like illegal or seriously damaging to other people. If your mind wants to go down a weird dark route, let it. It's probably going to teach you something. It's probably going to be cathartic. You don't have to tell anyone. The Great Elk represents the Earth's element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability amid life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. This is what I'm saying about this person knows their core values, but they should do, but with it being in reverse, somebody's struggling with this. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers and friends. The world needs more elk energy. So somebody could have a little bit of a big ego. Somebody could, find it hard to ask for or accept help when they need it. Somebody's a bit too ashamed to say that they need help. Now this could be somebody's literal father, doesn't have to be. The hyena as well, then, this kind of double-sided energy, it is giving me a little bit reputation and what's seen and what is hidden. So behind closed doors energy, somebody may not be great behind closed doors, is what I'm saying. Perhaps dealing with a partner who's very double, you know, puts on a great show in public, you know, life of the party. Behind closed doors, they start screaming, throwing things, you know. It's not for me to kind of judge anyone else's journey, but if you feel like you want to leave that situation, I think definitely reach out. In the UK, we have Women's Aid, we have Shelter, we have Samaritans, we have, you can go to any doctor or hospital and say, I need help, I need help. And they're obligated legally to help you. So there's so many ways that you can get out of these tough situations. And yes, it's going to be hard, but use those networks if that's your situation, I want to say. And again, like, maybe do go and watch that TV show Made, because it's very real. It's very real, I want to say. Humour, wit and sarcasm. The hyena personality is a jokester and a crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realised. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humour to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? Yeah, it's sobriety as well. It says bring into balance sobriety. So somebody could have a dependency on a substance. When out of balance, scrappy, petty and suspicious. It did come out in reverse. Scrappy, petty and suspicious. When in balance, charming, witty and fun to be around. So again, this is two sides of the same coin here. We're talking about somebody who's got a bit of a dual nature. You could definitely be dealing with a Gemini. And there's a thing as well in that where you know, there's part of that TV show where this woman who is she says it takes people 7 tries to leave a bad situation. It takes 7 attempts because they keep going back, because they keep thinking the partner's changed. The partner keeps showing the good side of themselves, right? The part that made the person fall in love with them in the first place. But then very quickly it goes back to the bad times. So I don't know, sympathy for the devil kind of thing coming through here. I want to say that some of you could do some shadow work where you use your imagination to go back into the past and to have conversations with people in those moments. So if you have a bad memory from the past, perhaps a traumatic day experience with a parent where you wish things had gone differently, or perhaps you took a lot of the blame on your shoulders when you were a child. You're not to blame, you're a child, right? It's never the child's fault. You're a child. So go back in your memory space, go back and visualize that moment, you know, if you're comfortable doing that, and go to your childhood self and say, look, it's not going to be like this forever. You don't deserve this. It's not your fault. I'm here with you, and be the parent that you needed in that moment for your childhood self. So this is shadow work that you can do in this liminal bardo realm. You know, the dream space, the imagination zone. That's why we're given an imagination, right? So go back and fix those memories. Go and fix those feelings of the past, and you can even go in that moment and say to a parent or a school bully, whoever it was, go up to them in that dream space and say what you need to say. It's cathartic, right? It's going to release something for you. So whatever you need to do, okay, whatever works for you, you don't have to follow my advice, but I'm not going to read the 7 of Swords or the Moon because I think they've kind of spoken for themselves in this reading, and I've read them quite a few times already. I am going to read the Lovers and the 8 of Voices. Soulmates, lovers, attraction, partnerships, a choice, sacred kinship, love, and nudge to ask, what would you create if love was the main ingredient? Maybe coffee, I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. There's an interplay here. So the prompt is textures of entanglement, right? That golden net that caught Aries and Aphrodite. All she can smell is the sweet scent of the flower as the curious landscape shifts. It draws her closer and closer still, as if the aroma fills the very sand of this place. She feels drawn in by a completely invisible string. There's that thread, again from Libra's reading. Above, a moon lotus hangs in the sky and creates and giant wings caress its petals. It feels of love and sunshine. Is it Cupid, an angel? She fears no fear until the moment she sees her, the other person, approaching from the opposite bank. Skip, skip, her heart jumps. She feels excited and attracted to the graceful creature, and it is clear that their awareness is one of mutual fascination. Old panic begins to creep in. Here's the panic, right? Here's the mind. Memories in her gut, unhealthy experiences, and the rustling wings reach down and inch them closer together. Little spirit, if you want to love, you must make a choice to love. You must say yes to your heart before the flower opens. And the memories are laced with moonlight, sweet skin union choices, a sense of worlds becoming one, bodies breathless, voices. Are you tangled up in a bit of a love affair, Aquarius? Possibly. Right, 8 of Voices. Feeling stuck or bound, believing you have no choice, a self-tethering, the empowering or disempowering effect of belief, no way out, unleashing your ties and seeing truth. Prompt, clasping at my scream. This kind of like makes me think of this energy, right? Clasping, it's like a heartstring being played or heartstring being pulled. The walls seem to cave in and lights are blotted out from the sky, and she finds herself stuck in one spot with no way to move. She always did have the worst luck, and she imagines her prison. As she imagines her prison, her heart begins to beat faster. I can't see, she says out loud, and feels an invisible strap clasp at her wrist. I can't, she calls out again, and another rope anchors onto her arm. She is giving up. I can't. And with every subsequent sob, cry and scream, the ties multiply. She twists in the bonds of her own imagined hopelessness, and the universe whispers gently, "You're not stuck. Look at the options around you." She slows her breathing and her blindfold falls away. She opens her eyes, watching the sun peak over the mountain behind her, seeing that she was stuck in a web of her own making, always able to leave any time she wanted to. Bound by my voices, they scream in my ear, bound by my voices unrisen. I am sure I can't move, I am sure I can't hear, bound with no choices, my prison. Again, in that TV show, there's a moment where she feels like that. It's depicted with her being at the base of a dark pit, right, where she feels completely hopeless. Really do recommend you go and watch that TV show, Made. But she gets out. No spoilers, but she does. She eventually picks herself up, she dusts herself off, she makes things better. So you always have options. Sometimes it's hard to see them because we get stuck in our own head, in our own fears. Tell me about the 8 of Voices, please, for Aquarius. 9 of Swords, look at that. Again, yeah, somebody's absolutely stuck in their own head, stuck in their own fear. I'm hearing torturing themselves. What's creating this feeling of being stuck, of hopelessness? There's your energy. King of Swords, 5 of Swords. I'm immediately drawn to the 5 of Swords, which is a card about winning at all costs. It's an energy of being prepared to sacrifice everything to win. Right, I will win no matter the destruction around me. Excuse me, so sorry. The Ace of Pentacles is some sort of divine offer, an opportunity, a gift, a seed that can be planted. It's some sort of thing being offered. It could be a literal gift. And then you have this King of Swords energy that's it is your energy. It could also be Gemini energy with the butterflies there being very prominent. Now the King of Swords normally has the sword lowered, which means which represents the King of Swords ability to be a very strategic, logical thinker, having clear boundaries, but also only really saying what needs to be said. So strategic with the communication. The kings are quite reserved normally. Now, when the King of Swords has their sword up, this means that they're in action mode, that they've made a decision, they're taking swift action to cut something out, to end something, and yeah, it's I've made a decision, this is what's happening. So this could be somebody around you who's made a decision and you're affected by it. It could be a King of Swords making an offer healing here as well, right? You've got quite a few swords that tell me that somebody could literally be undergoing surgery. The King of Swords can represent somebody who's good in medicine, a surgeon, you know, a doctor with a scalpel kind of thing. The Four of Swords is a card about healing. And like you've got quite a few cards about bed rest here. So there could be something about the kind of heartstrings and things as well. It's like it's either something physical, or it's talking about almost a ruthless energy to cut out an offer that's going to sever a heartstring. It's going to sever a connection. It's going to be painful to do this, but it is coming through with this. I have to. It's almost coming through with, I've got nothing left to lose here. This is a card about healing. Needing to rest after action has been taken. Right, needing some time to process, needing some time to deal with it. But this is when it spirals into depression or anxiety. So these cards are very, very similar here. But the Four of Swords is more temporary. The Four of Swords is, it could just be a day. You know, something bad happened. I need to go to bed. I've got a headache. I need to sleep this off. I need to heal from what just happened. The Nine of Swords is more where it turns into some kind of medical condition, where it's something like depression or anxiety or stress, where it's like, you need help with this. So if you're having trouble healing from something, and it's coming into this Nine of Swords energy, which you've actually got twice here, then you probably do need to consult somebody in the medical profession, you know, a doctor, to help you heal and deal with this. It is coming through with a sense of desperation. Please do reach out to those support networks, whoever you can, right? And sometimes you can get very confused and not know. Sometimes it can feel like I'm completely alone. I don't know what step to take. There's always options. Sometimes it's just hard to see them. So again, there are support services available, like Samaritans, Women's Aid, Shelter, in the UK, and I'm sure every country has equivalent services. In even just walking into a doctor's surgery for a checkup and saying, I need help, I'm scared for my safety, I'm a victim of abuse, whatever you know, whatever it is, if you say it to a doctor, it depends on the country, but at least in the UK they're obligated to help you, you know, to put you in touch with people that can help you. If you don't have a phone, tell them you don't have a phone, ask to use their phone. But please do whatever, because this feels like somebody needs to ask for help. So ask for help. Don't be so in your ego that you refuse to. You deserve help. Nobody deserves to be in Nine of Swords energy on their own for an extended period of time. Tell me about the lovers. Tell me about the lovers for Aquarius. That's too many, isn't it? You could have fallen out with somebody. The Emperor. So this tells me that somebody's taking control of this situation. It could be, you could also have a father figure here. We've got the Elk and the Emperor. There could be, and the King. Again, please do watch Gemini's reading. There's somebody here who's in a position of authority. There could be somebody who can help you, or there could be somebody who's, this could also symbolize like work or something. Somebody in authority who's perhaps preventing you from coming together with somebody that you want to come together with. Otherwise, this is your Emperor. This is somebody that don't take gender out of it. This is somebody who you've got up on a pedestal. They tick all your boxes. They're everything you could possibly want. They're your dream person. So take it as it resonates, but leave it if it doesn't. Can I get one more card on this Emperor, please, in connection with the Lovers card? Yeah, you could have had a fallout with somebody who you felt like they were your soulmate. You could feel like there's a missed opportunity here. You could also be, this was kind of talking about the red flags of past experiences scaring you. It's like you could be going forward towards somebody who's very, very good for you, but perhaps your fears, because you were hurt in the past, are stopping you from actually going towards this person. So you are too busy looking at the past and missing a divinely guided. I'd say that the Lovers and the Emperor, with these 2 cups standing behind the 5 of Cups, somebody's missing out on a divinely guided opportunity because they are still very, very damaged from past experiences and past relationships, that they're not open to this. So I think we need to get you an advice card, Aquarius. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. How do we get Aquarius? I'm getting this boat stuff. Because when I was just gonna say something then, I heard, how do we get Aquarius in the right boat? How do we get Aquarius in the right boat? And you can see on my notes here, terrible notes, I was noting some of the lines from Runaway. We're both in the same boat. I've actually underlined boat. We're both in the same boat because we both had a bad day. It could be literal. It could be literal. It's like you and somebody else had a bad day. You got on the same ferry together, you know, and you're both there for the same reason. If it's not a literal boat, it's like people being shipped, right? Some people who are meant to be together. I've seen this a couple of times now. Archangel Gabriel, North Star, self-expression and creativity. Does speak to me about gender reassignment, or people who are non-binary as well, if that's how you express. Hathor then. So what does Hathor have to tell Aquarius? Keywords: rejuvenation, gratitude and celebration. Hathor is an ancient Egyptian sky goddess who is usually depicted as a woman with the head or the ears of a cow. She is an uplifting and loving mother goddess who is associated with women, women's health, love, fertility, the heart, the planet Venus, music, dance, joy, rebirth, rejuvenation and feminine expression. She's also the consort of Horus. I feel like it's almost talking about whoever this person is in this reading. Okay, because we actually have 2 emperors, but this is kind of like a feminine emperor. When Hathor appears, it is time to celebrate life and all its gifts. Celebrate yourself, acknowledge your successes and live every day in gratitude for all that you have and all that you are. Love and relationships. Do something to celebrate with your friends, family and loved ones. Celebrations bring us closer together and create so much joy and happiness in our lives. Work. Celebrate your successes and achievements. Home. Play high vibrational music. Look at this. Like, she looks like she's playing one of those, I can't think what they're called. It's like, it's an instrument. It's an instrument that works off like lasers. It's like a harp, but it's lasers, and you can kind of move your hand up and down and across, and that's how you play it. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Can't think of the word for it. Play high vibrational music, sing or chant mantras to lift the energy of your home. Money. Spend your money on experiences, celebrations and creating joyful memories. Well-being. Express yourself, your emotions and your gratitude for life through movement. Explore ecstatic dance, take a dance class or bring dance breaks into your day. Spirituality. Focus on opening, healing and expanding the heart chakra. A heart chakra, I'm telling you, the more open your heart is, the more able you are to magnetize to you all the good things that are out there with your name on them. In meditation, visualize Hathor standing in front of you with her hand towards your heart. Receive her outpouring of love. Embody the energy of Hathor by dancing, playing music, singing or chanting, prioritizing joy, looking after your own health and well-being, opening your heart chakra and planning events and celebrations to bring people together. Did you have the double emperor in your last reading? I feel like Capricorn had the double magician. I feel like you had double emperor and Pisces had double empress. Yeah, so there could be a same-sex couple out there for some of you, but it doesn't have to be that. Also, the Lovers is back again there as well. There is a divinely guided connection here at play. Trust your heart. Okay. Incorporate your shadow self. Accept yourself for... again, if you look at like programs, accepting who you truly are, accepting the worst parts of yourself, the worst things that you've done, is the first step in healing. So, you know, even if you need to do things like things that are cathartic, like writing out what happened to you or what you did, and then cathartically, like as an exercise, write out, if you could do it again, how would you do it differently? Or write out what you learned from that experience. So all these kind of things, it helps you to process. And maybe that's what somebody needs to do in order to heal. Because there is healing here. All right. Take care of yourselves, please, Aquarius. If this isn't your story, it could be somebody around you who you may need to reach out to. I don't know. But you've got the Ace of Pentacles twice as well here. There's definitely some sort of offer on the table. The King as well making an offer. Please do go and watch Gemini's reading if the King is speaking to you, and this Seven of Voices. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm a bit worried about you, so please take the time you need to have that self-care. Please don't beat yourself up for the past. The past is the past. You know, there's nothing we can do to change it, but we can change the way we think about it. We can change the way it affects us moving forward. So if you need to go and do some of those exercises or Google something that works for you better, please do that and take the time to do that, because I can see that somebody needs to take the time to do this. And you deserve that self-care as well, right? You deserve to take the time you need to heal things that have hurt you in the past. Because all they're going to do is keep tripping you up as you try and move forward if you don't fully deal with them. But if you are getting into this Nine of Swords energy, or the Eight of Swords energy, where you're feeling completely stuck and trapped and helpless, feeling desperate, you know, please do go and seek either medical advice or reach out to those helplines, because there's always options. It's just hard to see them sometimes when you're in the thick of that forest. So yeah, if you need to ask for help, ask for help. Don't have too big of an ego. Okay, Aquarius, I'm going to go. I hope that was helpful for somebody out there. I feel awful leaving it. I just kind of want to keep talking. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Look after yourselves. You know, love yourself first. All that love that you have, that big heart, pour it into yourself first. Yeah, if you met yourself on the stairs, right, like that Nirvana song, what would you say to yourself? You know, if you were being kind to yourself, what would you say to yourself? Aquarius, take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.